jasmine, oolong, green, and white. Long ago, these 4 teas were skillfully brewed at the Blissful Brew. Then, everything changed when the shop's popularity threatened its existence. All Mr. Okuran, the shop's owner and tea master, could do was to recruit 4 teenage orphans to learn his trade and staff his shop. A year has passed since the orphans were hired, and although their skills have progressed, they still have a lot to learn before they can brew anything. But I believe that they have the potential to make the Blissful Brew the greatest tea shop in the world. Last time on Benders and Brews, an Avatar Legends podcast. Mr. Okuran says, yes, it was probably my old employer. Hot leaf juice. 30 years ago. But essentially, I co-owned Hot Leaf Juice when it first started with, at the time, my business partner, Madam Yang. She stabbed me in the back, literally. Since then, I've exited the company because I didn't agree with a lot of their policies and sort of the direction things were going, and decided to go off and start my own tea shop. She was not happy about that, and she's always been after me for it. Well, admittedly, Gaoling is one of the few larger cities in the entire Earth Kingdom that doesn't currently have a hot leaf juice. I'm the one thing standing in her way from really taking over the entire land.
Well, Mr. Okuran, I have some great news for you. You're going in halfsies for the party!
I found this note in their study, and it says here that Hot Leaf Juice was in with the Shifu family, and they paid the Shifu family to not use our business and to switch over.
The hot leaf juice is going to be here in town. I'm going to get the ingredients prepped and readied. We will show our professional capabilities, and our tea quality will be superior.
Meaning, we need to ditch half their supply. Hot Leaf Juice doesn't know what we look like. A couple of us could just act like we're working for the Shifu family, and we're going to help them unload their stuff for them. And by unload, I mean we take it the wrong way and then just ditch it somewhere. We just pose as Hot Leaf Juice the entire time.
So Mika and I will be Hot Leaf Juice.
We'll sabotage.
Yes.
We could have Dilbert ink in their tea.
You watch them pull in onto in their cart. As soon as it pulls over, you see a few people get out, and then this woman steps out, very tall, very intimidating, as she looks over at you guys in your booth, and she just gets this like little curl of a smile on the corner of her lips, and she starts walking towards you. Hello everyone, and welcome to Benders and Brews, a non-canonical Avatar Legends real play podcast. My name is Skylar Gorsuch, and I am the Game Master, creating the story alongside my co-writer, Dr. Nick. And then bringing it to you and the players who are sitting around me who are going to introduce themselves. Whoever's ready, go!
Dave here. I'm playing Gwohan, the Adamant.
I'm Cameron. I'm playing Bill Dorr, the Guardian.
I'm Connor, and I am Broccoli, the Earthbending Hammer.
I'm Mika, and if you don't know my name yet, you never will.
You should make a stage name.
Ooh, yeah.
I got a good
Mabel.
stage name for
Or like,
you.
what do they call it with writers?
I'm Mabel, and I played Mika.
A stage name of
the
Michaela.
Rogue.
Alias.
Mabel.
Chad
Oh, sorry,
Shaver.
Makala.
I literally will throat hug you.
Throat hug.
What?
What does that mean?
Nice way of saying I'll choke you out.
The regular Bart Simpson treatment.
Yes.
You guys never heard of that? You guys never heard of throat hugging?
Did today.
Okay.
I've heard of tonsil hockey.
Interesting.
That's a whole other sport.
I've never
That's what
heard
your
of
dentist performs.
Oh, I'm sure there's dentists out here.
Weird
that have done
dentist.
that. All right, so today's question for your characters is, and it actually, ironically, kind of follows really nicely with episode 1's question, which was what is their favorite tea? Well, I have to ask you guys, as we're sitting here with some wonderful Costco muffins that Connor brought us, what is your favorite tea time snack? What do you like to eat with your tea?
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure. You brought the muffins. It only makes
Wait.
sense.
Clarifying question.
Favorite tea time snack to go along with your tea?
Our favorite tea time snack or a character's favorite tea time snack?
Oh, your characters. But you can also add your personal favorite as well, if you want to.
So personally, I would... Actually, it's probably the same. I enjoy ladyfingers, those little like cookies. And I feel like those would work well with broccoli as well because they're usually very hard and dry, like a rock. So
he's got a thing for rocks.
yeah, he doesn't know what else to do if there weren't any rocks around. So
Sure.
he's gonna stick with the lady fingers.
All right. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that one, which is ironic because I feel like it's a very popular tea time snack.
I think so.
Right on. What about Guohan? Just I don't know. I'm just kind of going around the
That
table.
was Guohan.
Oh,
Guo.
sorry, Guao.
No, it's Guohan.
Oh.
But if
Could have picked an easier to pronounce.
if Owen Wilson was here, he'd say Guohan.
Wow.
Wow.
Guohan enjoys a nice air nomad custard tart.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, the air nomads, some that travel with the carnival.
Sure, that makes
They
sense.
made those, and they were quite delicious.
Indeed. Did he have a specific like fruit or flavor of tart that he really liked?
Not just the plain.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to pull a Bill Door and just be like, lemon,
Lemon?
grass.
Oh.
That's I don't just from
remember?
episode 1. He's like, "What's
What
the
kind of tea do you
what's the
have?
tea of the day? Lemon."
Lemon. Grass. Raspberry?
Hey, this is a pretty good tea.
That honestly, I would drink that. I would
See?
try it. It'd have quite the like zing to it. You know, it'd be very zesty tea. But anyways,
It's a chill tea.
a chill tea. It's very summer tea, I would say. Anyways, Bildor.
Well, if you rewind your brains and remember back, Bildor doesn't drink tea.
Right.
He drinks water.
Okay. What's
What's
his favorite water time snack?
I guess his favorite snack,
Sure.
guess, just in general, because
Yeah.
it's salad.
Salad.
He likes a nice salad with his water.
All right.
He likes mixing up his dressings and stuff and
Sure.
mixing up the flavor. I'm sure if he did drink tea, he'd like it with salad.
Sure.
Just because, I don't know,
Why not?
salad with the liquid's pretty good.
Salad's like wearing the color black. It just kind of goes with everything.
Yeah. It goes with
I mean,
any
it's a
meal.
salad.
Goes with any drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Keeps you
it is the
healthy.
meal.
I mean-
yeah. Fair enough. All right. That's different, but that's a fair point. Salad.
Mm-hmm.
He likes that rabbit food.
The rabbit.
Yeah. With some dressing.
That's right.
Like what kind of dressing?
Like I said, he mixes it up. He
Mixes
usually
his
doesn't have the
dressings
same
together.
one twice in a row.
What does Mika like to eat with her tea?
Yeah, how are you going to top salad?
Yeah.
Mika likes some nice chocolate of any kind.
Oh, okay. Just chocolate though, like not like chocolate covered
Just
insert.
chocolate.
Just chocolate. Okay.
She likes those fruity teas, remember?
Right, which would
Pairs
pair
well
very
with
well with
chocolate.
chocolate. All right, that's fair. She doesn't have to have a chocolate covered blueberry, for instance, because she's drinking a blueberry tea, so she gets the essence of it. Without all the work of melting chocolate onto the fruit.
Yeah, sometimes she'll melt the chocolate from the hot water.
Sure. All right, perfect. Well, now that we have all that out of the way, let's move back into episode 6 of Benders and Brews. Back inside the mansion, Mika is making her way sneakily through the fancy corridors, past the various servants putting up decorations, banners, and paper lanterns. Not so much inside, actually, probably for the paper lanterns, because those are a fire hazard. But banners, posters, those little flag thingies that you hang on the wall. They're stringing fancy stuff. I'm not really, I don't know this stuff quite as well, so I'm just kind of going off of whatever pops in my head, but
Banners?
Yeah.
Like the flag banners.
Sure.
Pennants.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. See, that's why you're here. Okay. Garland. They got garland on the various anything that's a pole shape. They have garland on it. Lamps. Pillars.
Floor?
Poles. Curtain rods that don't have curtains on them for whatever reason. Anyways, what are you doing, Mika? What are you looking for? What are you after right now?
I'm finding containers to hold that pond water in.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say it probably wouldn't take you very long to find an assortment, or at least like kind of point out. You're not like gathering them all together, but you're kind of mentally pointing out like, oh, over there's like an ornate vase. Over there's a vase. It's smaller, probably more holdable, but it's got a flower in it, so I'd have to like dump it. Over there, you don't see any like buckets because they're trying to keep everything real clean and fancy. They don't have any buckets in here. The mopping has already been done 3 days beforehand.
Nothing fancy than a pile of buckets in the corner.
Got to keep them somewhere. But yeah, you're not. I mean, not out in the open at least. Like if you wanted to like check, I don't know, other spaces or something like that. I mean,
No.
no. Okay.
Just like in the open.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Lots of vases.
Why do you call them vases?
Do you always so fancy. I don't
He's
know.
at a fancy party.
I'm
But
at
it's like a
free-
vase.
Right.
Do you normally say vase?
No, I normally say vase.
But they're fancy, so it's got to be a vase.
That's right.
Wow.
It costs more.
Is there like a decent sized one that I could easily carry full of water?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you find them in
pretty
like a
strong.
variety of.
Burly.
Okay, you find them in a variety of shapes and sizes. So yeah, I mean, you're able to find one. You find like a perfectly sized one. It is a bit heavy, but again, that's because this one has a flower inside of it.
Like flour or a flower?
Just one. Oh, yeah, like a flower. Not full of flour that the chef is running past. Like, give me that back. I gotta go make the cake. I'm so far behind.
Okay, I pull out the flour
Okay.
and I break
Just rip the flour
I
right
break
out.
the roots off and I stick it in my braid.
Okay, that's good cover. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued by how she's gonna hide the evidence. I mean, there's still some dirt in there.
And well, yeah, but as I go outside, I'm just gonna sprinkle it in the flower beds or whatever.
I'm
It's
spreading
fine.
fertilizer. It's
Yeah,
whatever.
it's fine.
Okay. I mean, nobody questions you. There's so many people just rushing around doing stuff.
Doing
like,
crazy stuff. Okay,
yeah.
so then I go to the pond or the fountain. You said there was a pond and a fountain.
Mm-hmm. So the pond is like, it's got that gazebo that
Yeah.
kind of goes over it. But yeah,
And they're
there's,
like the same distance away from this
Yeah.
house.
yeah, it's very.
Which one's on the left?
Which way are you facing from? Like
Like
you're
my back is
standing in
towards the door.
Okay,
and
so the left would be the pond. with
okay,
the
I'm going to
gazebo.
the pond.
Okay,
I'm gonna fill it up with fish poop water.
you do that.
'Kay.
Do you water bend it or do you just dip it in?
I'll just dip it in. I'll try and do it nonchalantly. You know.
Oh, okay. I mean, like I said, nobody's really looking. I mean, there's that guy that's like picking. I mean, he's over at the
Yeah, but I
fountain
don't want
right now.
Steven with a PH to accidentally like.
Right.
I don't want to count his bad side any more than I heard him, apparently.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Okay. Yeah, you do that. Actually, now that you're outside, you do see that the group that is representing the Blissful Brew is currently being approached by a very tall and intimidating-looking woman in one of those very wide-sleeved robes. And then off not too far in the distance, and it looks like she's walking away from this, is the cart of the Hot Leaf Juice Company.
Okay, I am going to waterbend.
Okay.
I'm going to shape the water, kind of like snaky, whatever.
Okay.
And I'm going to have it rain on the lady.
Well, you're a little ways away.
Yeah,
Still.
they'll just flow.
How far does your... Okay, hold on. This is why we roll for things. What is it? Depend on your training, I believe is what it's called. Rely on your skill and training. Yep.
Just focus.
Oh, I have great focus.
It's a 0, ain't it?
Yep.
It's just a +0.
I roll 1 or 2?
2.
Need a 7. Let's go.
9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a second.
Just shy.
No, I'm
Just
basically a pro. It's fine.
Just shy. What do you want?
Oh,
gonna
that's
neck hug
a
you.
cocked
Yeah.
die. Let me re-roll that.
Well, not you don't re-roll both if there's a cock die.
9 again.
Yeah, it's a 9 again.
Making it rain on the old lady.
So you... Basically, in the rules, the 7 to 9, you do it imperfectly. So you snake the water over towards her direction, and just before it's about to, like, instead of raining on her, it just rains directly in front of her, and it gets her shoes a little bit wet, but it doesn't get, like, her whole self wet.
I'm just gonna, like, nonchalantly turn the other way and refill my bucket.
Right. I mean...
And head back in the house.
Since it came downward, she just gets, like, very confused. She's looking up like,
oh my!
And then she brings back her composure, and then she continues to walk towards you guys. So you get your vase filled with water, and then you take it inside, right? Is that what you said? Okay, sounds good. Brock, you're stepping outside. Mika actually walks right past you, and she's carrying this big vase of water. And aside from seeing that, you see over in the distance the same thing that she had seen, which is this very tall, intimidating
Wait, time
woman.
out. As he walks by me, I wink at him.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
Okay. It means something.
I'm just oblivious.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, you're distracted because you see the hot leaf juice logo, which you're familiar with. You're all familiar with. And again, like I said, you see this woman walking towards your friends who are setting up the booth for the Blissful Brew.
Well, I have no idea who this lady is.
Sure.
So to me, to Brock Lee, I just assume that she's a party goer.
Oh,
and
okay.
I go about my business, which is trying to blend in with hot leaf juice.
Okay. So you're approaching the cart then? I
Yes.
assume. Okay.
I'm going up to the cart, and I am just walking up and just trying to find a job to where I look like I'm, part of that group.
Okay. You do notice that they all seem to be wearing, like, uniforms. They all are very, like, a bright pink color, and they all have the little logo in the kind of corner up by the right, like, breast area. So they're currently just unloading the cart, taking out boxes, taking out tables, some equipment, or they're removing equipment from the boxes. They're kind of like large crates. Inside the crates, everything's padded in with sort of like a hay-like material, because a lot of it's very fragile. It's teacups and pitchers and teapots and things along those lines. So, but they seem to be taking it all inside the mansion, because they were told that that's where they were set up at, is inside where you guys were set outside. So yeah, that's what you see. Okay.
So I'll walk up to the cart and just act like I own it, walk up, grab a box, and start following the line in.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll a push your luck. See if you can kind of just blend in and get away with it.
Is that creativity?
Passion.
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 Okay. Oh, that is a +1.
Right on.
11.
11. All right. So sure enough, nobody really questions anything that you're doing. You just grab a box, head on in. You can probably assume that these people are tired from a long trip all the way from Bossing, say, or wherever. You assume that's where they're from based on the letters that you guys have seen. And they're tired. They don't care. If someone else is grabbing a box for them that they don't recognize, hey, if he's bringing it inside for us, I don't care.
Yeah.
So you've got a box, a big old crate in your arms. I mean, you're Brock Lee. You're the big, strong guy for the most part. So, I mean, it's not a problem for you whatsoever to pick up this big old box of who knows what. So
No. I might even rollerblade around them just to show them I don't
Shoot,
care.
You might. So you've got a box. Where are you headed with this?
Is there any noise coming from this box?
No.
Okay.
Well, no. Everything's padded in pretty good.
Okay, so even if there were teacups, if it was just teacups, I wouldn't hear them clanging around.
Right.
Okay. So I'll go to the booth where they're setting up, and I'm assuming they're opening the boxes and setting all the stuff up. So I'll open up my box, and is there anybody else at the booth at this very moment, or is it just me?
Like I said, I mean, they're kind of setting up around you. So, I mean, yeah, you can like pick out a spot that's kind of maybe a little bit off from, you take it inside, right?
Yeah, I take it inside, and I'm at the booth right now.
Okay, yeah. So,
So
they're
I'm
all
there too.
Yeah,
correct?
You're coming back in at this point, yeah.
Oh,
so you're coming back in. Like, you're getting there. You're carrying a big old thing of water, and broccoli's is
How
pretty
weak
strong.
do you think I am?
I mean, I'm not...
She's a strong, independent woman.
She is. That's fair.
Well, 17-year-old.
Maybe she's like...
I was on my own
And
for a short time.
She spent that time lifting weights.
I mean, do you go up, when you come in? Are you like headed straight to Brock, who's like doing something over?
No, I remember I was going in with my water.
Right.
As he went out to go meet.
Right. Oh, okay. So you've already taken your water and you're doing something. Okay. We'll get back to that then.
I'm setting it up nonchalantly, maybe put my flour back in the pot.
Right.
No big deal.
Yeah.
At this point, am I forget from the last episode.
Sure.
Am I wearing I'm not wearing the Blizzard Brew uniform.
Right. You guys took yours off to help make sure that you guys were able to blend in.
Okay, so as of right now, I think my strategy might shift a bit. Instead of trying to blend in with hot leaf juice, I may just try to blend in as like a servant. Or are the servants also wearing other sorts of uniforms?
They kind of vary between the servants because there were like, well, and I don't know if you guys would necessarily know this necessarily, but you assume that this isn't the Shifu house. This is somebody else's house, but obviously the Shifu family was involved in the planning of this event because they were in charge of the catering. So you assume that there's probably multiple families that are involved in the setting up this whole party, and they brought like their collective staff for the most part.
Okay.
Not their head of house, otherwise Sebastian would be here. But other than that, yeah. So there's a variety of different, costumes and outfits and such. So yeah.
Okay, that's just more of a mental note for myself.
Yeah.
So I'll just open up the crate and what's inside that crate?
Yeah.
There?
So you open it up, and sure enough, inside there are a large number of teacups that have all been like carefully, have paper in between each one of them to help from keeping them from clinking against each other. And then, like I said, directly around all of them is that hay material to kind of pad it all in so it's not bumping against each other or against the crate itself.
Okay, and there's no tea in that box?
Not in this one, no.
Okay. So... Alright, so I'll set up the cups that I've got.
Okay.
I'll set up the cups that I got, and then if there's is there anybody that I can see has a crate with tea in it?
No one has the tea out yet.
Okay, so... I think I'll probably I might just leave this crate and go grab another.
Sure.
And I'm gonna try and just hop up on the cart.
Okay.
And try and sort of jiggle every single crate that I hand off to other people.
Okay.
And just try and make a clanging sound.
Okay.
And if there isn't one, I'll put that one off to the side.
Okay. All right. One guy walks up to it, and he's like, "What are you doing in there?"
Well, just moving the crates. What are you doing?
Well, why you jiggling them, man? I mean, we're trying to be careful with these things. Well,
we also would like to, trust that the packing process was adequate, and it doesn't. Everybody's tired, from this trip, and so it shouldn't really matter if it gets a little extra jiggle, doesn't it?
Well, I would hope not, but I don't want to have made that whole entire trip just to find a whole bunch of busted teacups inside of one of these things.
I mean, the roads over here from Ba Sing Se aren't exactly smooth. They've been clanging around all day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just trying not to push the boundaries of what these things can handle at this point, especially since we're here.
All right. I guess you're right. As I continue to ignore him and just keep jiggling every single crate.
He kind of just rolls his eyes. He looks over. He sees that Madame Yang is busy, so he just grabs a box and takes it in.
Sick. So do I find?
Yeah, I mean
a tea box.
Well, so you assume that the giveaway is that it seems like there's a couple crates that are a lot lighter than a lot of the other ones. So you assume, these probably aren't filled with like teacups or kind of heavier materials. This has got to be something else.
All right, so I'll take the lighter ones.
Okay.
And I'll wait till there's like a break in the line, and I'll sort of put it off to the side of the cart.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
My turn.
I was gonna get to these guys.
They got Madame Yang with some wet feet coming up.
I'm setting up my pond water in their pots that they're trying to boil water in.
All right. Well, we will get to that. I promise. You two, you guys are standing there. You're watching as this tall, intimidating Madame Yang is a pro. Well, I guess you wouldn't know her name as Madame Yang just yet. Well, you might. You might assume because Mr. Okuran was saying, yeah.
Never assume.
Never assume. But anyway, she's walking towards you, and then you watch as this sort of snake of water sort of just manifests itself above her and then drop and just kind of get her shoes a little wet. She looks very baffled and confused for a moment, but then like psychopathically just changes her emotional state back to a very calm and collected person and continues walking towards you around the now spot of mud that's on the ground. Is there anything that you guys are thinking or maybe even doing as she's approaching you and kind of knowing a little bit context, in the back of your mind that, oh boy, who knows what this is going to turn out to be?
Well, this should be interesting.
Yeah. I think we're screwed.
Do you have that money?
Yeah, it's I've got it stashed away.
Oh, good.
In my 0 pockets I have. You've got it. I gave it to you.
Oh. I slide my satchel behind my back.
There you go.
All right. So
do you want me to do the talking or you?
I think we're in this together. Let's just see what
All right,
she
tag
has to
team
say.
it.
all right. So she approaches and she says,
Well, well, well. The blissful brew. I wasn't expecting to see your company here.
Yeah. We're setting up. What can we do to help you?
My name is Madame Yang, owner and CEO of Hot Leaf Juice. I'm sure your boss, Mr. Okuron, probably mentioned me. I was in the understanding that we're to be the sole tea caterers on contract for this event. I can't imagine the kind of begging and groveling Okuron had to do in order to apparently take back his spot here.
Well, Miss Yang, it's a pleasure to meet you. We heard about your fine tea establishment you have over in Ba Sing Sang. Here you have a fantastic company up there, and this family was honored to have you down here for this event. But a recent change happened in the last few hours, and they wanted a local company to help run this thing as well. They wanted a bit of flavors from 2 different companies, and there was a last-minute change. You know how rich people are. And that's the reason why the Blissful Brew was asked to come run this place. But don't worry. Your company still has the nice spot inside right next to the dance floor, which honestly is probably prime real estate compared to out here in the garden. So I think you still get the best out of the deal. But can't 2 companies coexist at the same party?
Well, I suppose we have no choice now, don't we? But I must ask, is Mr. Okuron, the so-called tea master himself, going to be here?
You better believe it. He'll be here soon with our flavorful tea.
I can only assume the best from Mr. Okuron. He is a bit of a tea-eccentric, I suppose.
Mr. Okuron is an artist.
Is that how he is referring to himself these days?
You corporate type wouldn't understand.
I think it's you who wouldn't understand, given that you're little more than an employee at a dying tea shop after all. But alas, I have a tea shop to set up. It will be interesting to see how the night plays out, don't you think?
I guess so, yeah.
Indeed.
and she turns and starts to walk away.
Bill Dorr gives her a slight bow when she walks away.
Like one that she would catch out of like the corner of her eye as she's turning?
I
Or-
guess, yeah. I don't know. It'd be a polite
Yeah.
bow that you would give to a higher member of the community.
Sure.
as they leave.
Yeah. I mean, she catches it out of the corner of the eye and she kind of like dips her head back at you. Kind of like just like an acknowledgement. And then she continues on.
When she turns her back, Guauhan sticks his finger to his nose and his thumb to his nose and waggles his finger in her general direction.
Is there a term for that? Like, I'm just curious.
Nana Boo Boo.
Nana Boo Boo. I like that.
It's a classic.
Well, I'm thinking of It's a Wonderful Life. I
Right.
can't remember what they do in that movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw.
I think there's some moose antlers involved, maybe.
Sure. Okay, you do that. And she doesn't notice this. But, Bill, you notice it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Bill chuckles.
All right, awesome. All right, so she walked away. What are you guys going to do now that she's heading off?
Guess we just get things ready for Mr. Okeron. I mean,
All right.
I know he's going to outbrew her. I mean, she
Sure.
seems way too uptight to actually brew anything good.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Meanwhile, back inside the mansion, Mika, you've got a big old vase of water, of muddy duck and fish poop water.
Ooh, lovely.
Lovely.
Okay, so there's other people you said setting up, doing their thing.
Yeah. Everybody
Are-
looks like they like in the hot leaf juice, like all the employees look like they have a very specific purpose. Like one guy is actively like doing a quick like once over, cleaning out the teacups, setting them down. Somebody's making sure they're organized. Obviously they've already got like a handful of tables and things, but there's still like there's two guys that are their whole job is just to make sure that like the tables are set up and they're put together in such and such a way. You've got, somebody that's, I mean, all the dishes are getting like re-cleaned from the, drive over. They got to make sure that there's no like residual taste from the hay or something, So you got people doing that, all this kind of other stuff. So
Okay, so there where the water
yeah,
that they're gonna be boiling,
sure.
is that already set up? Like the
Yeah,
pots or whatever they're
yeah,
using?
they've got pots and those were kind of near the back with the tea. So they're bringing them in as like right now. So
So
there's
they're not set up yet.
not like set up, but I mean like they're these giant pitchers. Like two people have to carry one.
They have water in them then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You assume that it's probably special water. Not. I don't mean that in a weird way.
I mean, it's like tea
it's not like
drinking
drugged
water,
water
so-
or anything. It's just very purified water. Yeah. They've got some like water benders working for them back in Bossing, say, and that's their whole job is to just like purify the water.
Sounds like a horrible job.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I want to wait until they set those up so that I can find a way to put my water into those pots.
Okay. I mean, yeah. So they bring them in. They pop open. They've got these kind of like big corks almost on them to help make sure that they're watertight because they're obviously going to jiggle a little bit during the cart ride over. So they pop them open. So it's got them open. They have like the teapots and they're filling the teapots with the water. And yeah, I mean, that's the basic process of it. And then they've got some little things set up as like kind of like portable burners in a sense, but it's very like medieval.
Hot rocks.
Yes, hot rocks. Yes. And they have one dude that's a firebender that's with them, and he's heating up those hot rocks.
With his air. He's a hothead.
Yeah, sure. Or he just starts, a fire in his hand and just kind of holds it over the rocks.
My way is, I feel like, anyway.
Sure. You should have made a firebender.
Hot hands.
Well, I'm just
Man, I
saying it
would
would
just
have been
breathe
funny
on
because I
everybody.
feel like Madame Yang, I
Yes.
feel like she would be one of those ones who are like, you can't use your hands, you have to use your breath.
Well, I mean, they aren't
it's
not
just-
touching the rocks or anything. They're just...
I know, I'm just saying.
Breathe on them.
I'm just
Oh,
saying, I
yeah,
just feel
yeah.
like she would make it more difficult.
Sure,
Whatever.
sure.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, you're
it's
right.
fine. Okay,
All I'm
so
doing is cooling it down.
I am going to waterbend the water,
Okay.
kind of down the side of my vase across the floor.
So you're doing this very like subtly, like it's like a trickle,
Yeah.
sort of.
And then it's going to kind of fork off, so
But if it's on the floor, it's gonna get all dirty.
it's fine.
Yeah, I figured it was fine.
Even better.
Added
And
flavor.
I'm going to have some of the water that forks off is going to, like, all of that water, because, I'm a waterbender, so I can take it out, so this doesn't really leave, like, a streak, I guess.
Okay.
And that's going to sit in front of, like, the workers, so they're busy trying to like, oh, where did this water come from? Clean it up, and then I'm gonna put the other water in the vase.
How good of a water bender
I'm
are
a
you?
great water bender.
Apparently.
But I mean, as they're distracted with my spilt water is when
Right.
I would water bend the water into the pitchers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it at the same time.
Okay. I'm gonna have you do between all of this. I would say we'll do a rely on your skills and training.
Tell the
I
man.
got a 4.
Oh no.
You're gonna blow this whole operation, aren't you?
Probably.
Okay. So you do the
Can
trickle
I just
bit.
slip on my own water? Ooh, sad day.
Well,
I'm
kind of,
thirsty
yeah. So you
water.
trickle the water like you wanted to, and then when they're cleaning it up, you're going to bend the water. And at the same time that you're bending your nasty water over to theirs, a butler over in the ballroom where you're at, he's putting up a banner, and he's doing it real precariously. Like, he's on a ladder, and he's, like, really stretching over. He's like, I'm so close, and I don't want to have to, like, get all the way back down and move the ladder, like, 2 inches so I can reach this. So he's just trying to do it, and then, oh no! And he falls. The whole thing comes crashing down. It startles you, and you drop your water that you were bending onto the heads of the hot leaf juice people that are cleaning up the water that you just sort of leaked over onto the floor. And they're like, what? You know, there's people over in the corner freaking out because this guy just fell down. He might be injured. There's people right next to you that are freaking out because they just got soaking wet. They're looking around. How the heck did the water... They're looking at the pitchers because they're worried the pitchers... I mean, they were leaking before, so maybe, like, they spilled or sloshed or something. Maybe someone bumped them. And they're confused because they're like, maybe the butler that was putting the banner up somehow fell on them, but he's all the way across there, so that doesn't make any sense. What's going on here?
And Broccoli's he's not come back yet, correct?
I'm still at the cart.
Yeah, he's still at the cart. He's jiggling crates.
Okay. I'm going to leave the
It's an
vase.
important job.
It is an important job.
I'm going to leave the vase and I'm going to walk outside.
Okay. Where are you headed?
I'm gonna see if I can find Bill Dorr and Guao.
Okay. Well, you're definitely able to find them.
Okay.
And while you're easily finding them, I'm going to cut over to Brock. All right.
Brock.
So you found a crate, or you found like a couple of crates with tea in them. You've set them off to the side of the cart, things like that. You're struggling to find more because you have to keep turning to like keep an eye on the crates of tea that are out by the cart because an employee might walk up and be like, "Oh, there's one ready to go," and then walk off with it. So you have to be like, "Oh, not that one yet," you know. It's not ready.
Yep.
So you found 2.
Okay.
I mean, they're big crates too, so
Right.
I mean, there's quite a bit of ingredients in there.
Am I aware of what just happened inside, or am I too far away?
You'd be too far away, yeah.
Okay. So, in this case, I guess I will... So how far is the cart from the inside of the... Like, to the party? To the indoor part?
Yeah, so they've made most carts like park pretty on the outskirts. Partially just because they don't want to have to clog up the area for people that are running around trying to bring stuff in for other things. Mm-hmm. And then also partly because they don't want to damage the grass that people are going to see as they're walking into the mansion during the party night. Got to keep it all clean and pristine and fancy. Mm. So I would say maybe like probably 100 feet or so from the door, maybe a little bit further even.
100 feet or so from the door, okay.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of... I'm assuming there's some sort of security at this event, or...
At the moment, there's not a lot. Like I said, there's the guy at the front that's kind of directing everyone that shows up. Because right now it's mostly, you know, vendors or caterers or staff or things like that. So at the moment, they're not super high security on things.
Okay. I want to take the 2 tea boxes.
Okay.
I'll earthbend a cart for him, like a little slab and like little wheels.
Yeah.
And I'll take the 2, and I'm gonna wheel it around the building and just toss them in the pond.
Okay.
So I'm going around. I'm going like the long way
all the way around the
all
mansion.
the way around.
Okay, so as you make your way to the back, I'm just going to describe what you find back there. So there's a wide open kind of courtyard area back there that's immediately next to the house. It's got some nice like rose bushes, some flower beds and things like that kind of planted. There's like paths that run between them. And then there's this massive hedge maze that's further past that. And then in the middle of this fancy little, just the flower bed area and things like that, it's like a walking area. You know, you go out with your so-and-so and you guys walk and talk. It's like any episode of Game of Thrones. Conspire against the government or the leader at the time. And then in the middle of it all, there's a nice little water feature pond with a fountain in the middle of it. That's kind of like running water too. Just throwing that out there to you. So that's what you pass by. There's not a whole lot of people out there. There's just maybe a small handful of servants. They're checking the flowers. They're trimming the hedges like just right, making sure there's nothing poking out. Checking the ground for any like twigs or weeds or anything like that and getting those removed, things along those lines.
Is anybody paying any particular attention to me?
No, they are very focused. You assume that there's a pretty decent... I mean, every once in a while, someone's going to walk back there doing their thing. They're doing their thing. These guys are doing their thing. Nobody's really, like, bugging anybody. They don't care what other people have to do for this because they need to get this job right or otherwise they might be fired. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, they don't care when you walk by.
I might go a little off kilter here, so I'm going to be off to the side. Go off to where there's not a ton of people and where I'm not within eyeshot of more than maybe a couple, like one or two people.
Mm-hmm.
I take the long slab that I have these crates on.
Okay.
I'll take them off of the slab. I'll earthbend another slab on top of that slab that's about 3 times the length. Put the crates back on and catapult them over into, like, step on the other end and catapult them into the pond. So that way I'm not seen dumping them in the pond.
Into the pond that's over here?
In the
back?
What would you say?
Okay.
Into the hedge maze or into the pond? Which would be the closer shot?
I mean, you could pretty much go anywhere on the circumference of the maze and launch them in pretty easily.
Okay, I want to launch them into the maze.
Okay. I'm not just saying that because I was kind of hoping you would, because that just sounds hilarious.
Into the hedge maze?
Into the hedge maze.
Yeah, so I want to catapult
hidden
these
treasures.
tea boxes into the hedge maze.
Okay.
Into the unknown.
I want you to roll not so much to like figure out if you can or not. I just want to see like, I don't know, if it rolls well, it's going to be like well distributed. Things are scattered all across the maze. If it rolls low, like the whole box just kind of plummets into like one spot in the maze still, because it's really not hard to do this. Okay. But I'm just curious. I really, just for storytelling purposes, future on in case something comes up.
8.
An 8. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, you see some spread. I would say like for the most part, most things are kind of within one region. So, but they're spread across that region. So, right. If you took like one turn, the right turn in the maze, you wouldn't find the whole thing. But I don't know. That might come up, and I'm excited because that would be really funny. Right. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, so with my crates now in the maze, I just nonchalantly walk inside and I take a post up at the hot leaf juice stand.
Okay. Are you doing anything particular or just
trying to find a job, blend in?
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, as you're standing there, you know, one of them might call out to you and be like, "Hey, can you give me a hand over here?" or whatever the case. You actually, when you go in, there's a couple of them that are drying off. They're like kind of squeezing their uniforms, you know, trying to squeegee out the water. And they're calling you over and they're like, "Hey, do you see anything wrong with these water containers? Any leaks, cracks, or anything? I'm not seeing anything, but maybe I'm just missing it."
No, maybe you know, is it supposed to rain today? I don't know. Maybe.
No, I mean, we're inside, obviously.
Yeah, right. You're right. Sorry. No, these look fine. I don't know what your problem is, bro. Maybe you just gotta lay off the rice juice.
The rice juice. He says, "Oh, you're no help. Go over there and help him put teacups on the table."
You got it, bud.
Okay. All right, so you go do that. you guys that are outside helping set up, Mika approaches you guys.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Well, hello, stranger we've never met before.
Ow! Oh, my head. Oh. I was under the table. Ouch. Oh. Who's that? Oh, Mika. I mean, Nika. Right, that was your disguise name, right? Winks.
I forgot you guys didn't know me.
What brings you here to our fine establishment?
No free samples for the staff. What do you want?
I want some tea without pond water, please.
Isn't that most tea?
I would hope.
Well, our tea's not here yet, so there's not much we can do for you.
And just as you're saying that, you suddenly see the familiar face of Mr. Okuran making his way down towards you with a small, just kind of a hand pull cart, almost a wagon, honestly. And on it, he's got a number of trays and some small boxes and crates all fancied up, just smaller ones. Looks to be filled with various ingredients and things like that. And he's smiling as he makes his way toward you. He's waving at you. Hello! Hey, guys! How's it going?
It's like 5 feet away.
You're like, why are you doing that with your voice, dude? It's so good to see you all today.
Mika, what do you want? You're supposed to be, ditching supplies.
Well, you see, they're all pretty much set up. I never saw the tea come in, but the water's there. The cups are there. Maybe they're not hot leaf juice. They're just hot juice.
I was just gonna say, they're
Sick
just
burn.
hot.
Good one.
Well, based on the one we've seen so far, I wouldn't say so.
Oh,
Jeez.
Oh, I elbow.
got her.
Bill.
Get him.
Mr. Okuran finally approaches. He says, "Oh, it's good to see you all. Where's Brock?"
Working.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. All of you seem to be hard at work. Mika, it's good to see you. Did you forget your uniform?
Huh?
Did you forget your uniform?
What uniform?
With the Blissful Brew uniform?
She spilt dirt on it.
Oh, no. Well, it's a good thing I brought an extra one.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Okuran. Let me just go change in the bathroom.
Oh, all right. Sounds good.
It's an apron. Oh, wait. Yeah, good idea.
And he's excited. He starts taking out, all the ingredients. He's setting them on the table. He's getting everything all set up. And you guys already had pretty much everything that he sent with you already set up for the most part. So he's really happy and excited and proud of you guys for getting it all set to go on your own. And then all of a sudden, you see the familiar hair poking out as the tall woman passes by a set of bushes and approaches you once again.
Oh, yeah,
Miss Shark.
Yeah, Mr. Okuran, your ex-lover's here. Ah. And he nervously keeps stacking cups.
Mr. Okuran's like, he does that thing where he reaches behind and scratches the back of his head very nervously, it wasn't like that, I promise. And then she approaches and she says,
Well, well, well. I was told you would show up eventually. I was starting to wonder if you had simply sent your little workers to run this entire catering gig for you. But here you are, standing in front of me, and here am I, wishing you weren't.
"Oh, Madam Yang, it's
Oh, you can say it, you old fool. You're not happy to see me. And believe me, the same can be said for you.
No, I hold no animosity towards you and your company. It's good to see you, she says.
I find no confusion in your lies. But what does confuse me is how you managed to resecure the tea contract for this party, even if it is only half of what was in the original deal.
Well, my amazing employees here. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to win us back onto the party board and be caterers for this event, halvesies with you, and, I couldn't be happier. And then all of a sudden, an employee, one of the hot leaf juice employees, comes running up to her, and he says, up into her ear, which he has to, really stand on his tiptoes to do, because, again, she's really tall. And she says,
What? What do you mean? This is not good. Not good at... I mean, this is fine. Everything is fine. But unfortunately, duty calls and I must be going. Goodbye, Mr. Okuron. And goodbye to all of you, whoever you are.
and then she just turns and walks away very quickly. Back into the mansion. I wonder what that was all about.
I don't know. Tea emergencies.
Yes.
They happen, and
I am the first to admit that tea emergencies are on the top list of priorities when it comes to emergencies that I deal with on the daily.
Are there any other emergencies you deal with, Mr. Okuron?
Oh, well, recently financial emergencies, but you guys know all about that.
And that wasn't at the top of your list?
Well, I figure it's sort of a subcategory of a tea emergency, right? Because it was caused because of tea, right? Or about the lack of
Selling
it, yes.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's less that there are tea emergencies, and maybe it's more of a fact of, in my life at least, everything stems from tea emergencies. I've never thought about it that way before.
So glad Guao and I could be here for this Marvel revelation you just came upon.
Yes, I almost feel as though I've reached enlightenment.
Tea enlightenment.
Tea enlightenment. Now, see, that's an enlightenment I can definitely get behind.
Mr. Okuron, what's the secret ingredient to the secret ingredient tea?
He puts his arm around you and he says, "Oh, Bill, I promise I'll tell you someday. Don't you worry."
I'll get you one of these days.
Yeah,
You'll slip up.
You just might. You know I love talking about tea.
And you know I love tea.
It's okay. You don't have to love it.
Okay, good.
Bill, one of these days I'll find a tea that you do enjoy.
Oh, I hope so.
But you just wait.
They've all sucked.
I'm sorry to hear that. And I won't be offended, I promise. But I'll find one. I know there's one out there. There's a tea for everyone. Guo knows what he likes.
Guo comes up from underneath the table where he's been hiding. Is she gone yet?
Oh, yes, she's gone, Guo. It's all right. I'd say don't let Madame Yang scare you, but she is quite scary. And it might be for your best interest to be fearful of her, to some extent. She can be a very dangerous woman.
What do you mean dangerous? All she does is sell tea.
Oh, that's not the least of it, by far. Or the most of it. I don't know.
What are you getting at, Mr. Okuron?
We used to study together under a tea master. She was from a wealthy family, and to be honest with you, I don't think she had much passion in tea making from the beginning. But her parents wanted her to learn the art form as, a way of entertaining guests or just, it's a wealthy person thing to do, Mm-hmm. I, on the other hand, was very passionate from a young age even about tea. And so my studies, although very expensive, and I had to work very hard for them, were something that I looked forward to every single day. But it became very difficult because of Madame Yang, or just Yang at the time. We were only kids. And, well, her parents were not happy with the fact that the tea master that they had hired to tutor her were allowing me to sit in on those lessons and also learn. And so they did everything in their power to make sure that I was unable to do so. And, to be honest with you, I think Yang was helping them find every way, method, and whatnot to do so because, I turned her down. I'll be honest with you guys. It was quite awkward, but my true love in life was always and will always be tea. And the people I love. Don't get me wrong. I love you guys. You guys are like children to me.
And chocolate scones.
Ooh, I do enjoy a chocolate
Yes,
scone.
yeah, I
yes.
see you in the background.
Chocolate, like chocolate orange. That's a good scone.
Yeah,
but anyway.
How is she dangerous?
Oh,
besides political intrigue and pushing you out what you love.
Yes, well, it's she actually she attacked me, which is part of the reason why I had to flee the small village where we were studying together. And it was sort of a last attempt to get rid of me, because the tea master was very inclusive. He was a very kind man and found every way to sort of either thwart her family's attempts to stop me from being able to study tea with her, to offering me work, which was more of like an internship program in a sense. So there was just nothing they could do, and so that was kind of her last attempt, and that's why I said earlier about how she stabbed me in the back, fairly literally. And so I had to flee, but thankfully that's where I was able to travel around the world and learn the tea skills and arts of so many different cultures and groups. I've learned from the airbenders and the waterbenders and even the firebenders, and just learned so many different things. Obviously the earthbenders, because that's the kingdom I grew up in. I knew quite a bit about earthbending styles of tea, but I digress. Eventually, that's actually what led me to find you on that ship long ago, Bill. And you too, Guo, in that circus where I found you and came across you, and we became good friends. And that was all part of the journey that I took and led to that helped me define the tea that I have and can make. And you guys, of course. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. And then, of course, she wanted to start the company together. I completely forgot about that. She contacted me early on in my journey saying that she was going to start a tea company, and I was very wary of this, of course. Having,
Because she stabbed you.
Right, yes, exactly. And so I was very hesitant, of course. But, the call of the tea. I had to at least see what it was that she was doing. She claimed she was a different person, all this and all that. And so sure enough, we were able to start a tea company together. Her with the more financial, obviously, putting that forward and a bit more knowledge on running a business than I. And I with the skilled art of tea making. So, and it was working out very well for a while. But I started to find out that she had plans in the making. Things like unpaid labor and, getting sort of mass-produced teas and all this other sort of things, and I couldn't stand for that. It's not how it's supposed to be. It's an art. It's not made to be mass-manufactured and in sweatshops or what have you. It's meant to be an expression of oneself, and that's the beauty of a tea shop. Someone can order a tea and it'll taste slightly different than somebody else that might have also ordered that same tea, and that's the beauty of it. It's very individual. And so I left, and she never forgave me, obviously, but at the same time, her capable business runnings and whatever it is that she ended up doing with her plans for the mass production seems to have been working, because she's made quite a wave with her company and her chains across the kingdoms. And so, now it seems that she's after Yao Ling to start a tea shop here and kick me out or buy me out or something along those lines. And I can only assume there was probably some backhanded deal or something that led to us getting removed from this party. And so I'm very impressed that you guys were able to get us back in. Like, my mind has been absolutely blown by that. Absolutely. I don't know how you guys did it, but here we are.
To be honest, we don't either. It was all Mika.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's just wonderful. She has really impressed me.
Yeah, but then she's actually done a right job here at this place. She's already made a few people upset with her, so I guess the Mika magic wore off.
Well, maybe it's a good thing she wasn't wearing the Blissful Brew uniform.
That's what I've been thinking this whole time.
But we'll get her on her we know that she's really good at, and she'll really impress everybody and blow them out of the waters. The waters.
Dishwashing, you're right. Yeah.
Oh yes, and among other things, she has. I personally believe that she could be a skilled tea maker someday if she would just, learn. Just really put her best foot forward on learning how to make those teas. Anyway,
you don't think that for all of us, right?
Oh, I think all of you could be amazing tea.
I strongly disagree with that.
Or as I like to call them, tea benders. But that's just my personal inside joke. Well, I guess it's not inside anymore. But I digress. Anyways.
Well, that was a very interesting...
I apologize. Yeah, we have so much to do here, and I'm sitting here talking about
I've
the
been
old
mindlessly setting up stuff while
right,
you've been talking.
Yes, that's fair.
Kind of zoning in and out of the conversation.
Oh, that's all right.
The stabbing part really perked my ears back up again.
I'm sure. It usually does. I don't tell very many people that, but I can only assume. Sure. Well,
is that why when you walk, you hold your back?
Yeah, it's a part of it. Eesh. I also just have a bad back.
Oh.
But that's just from age.
It's okay.
Yeah. That's all right. I can still make tea with the best of them.
Exactly.
That's what's important to me.
Exactly.
Well, anyways, let's get to work. Let's get this tea on the road.
No, we're already here.
Well, metaphorically speaking.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think people aren't supposed to show up for like another hour or so.
Right. Well, there's plenty of prep to do.
Has a very expository experience, but this tea won't brew itself, I suppose.
That's right. Yeah. All right. And with that, you guys start, working hard and brewing the tea and getting things all set to go. And with that...
Working at the tea shop!
With that, I think we'll call it an episode. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Of course, don't forget to follow or subscribe to our podcast through whatever podcast site that you're using, such as iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and others. Additionally, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just look for the social media icons. Following us on social media gives you access to all news, announcements, and of course new episodes as they are released. You can check out our website, bendersandbrews.com, which will feature all of our episodes as well as news, announcements, and even cool character and player profiles. It's a great hub of information for the Benders and Brews podcast. And finally, we would be truly humbled if you would be willing to take the time to leave us a review if your podcast site allows you to do so, such as on iTunes. Or, in the case of YouTube, you can hit the like and subscribe button and drop us a comment. Tell us about what you thought about our podcast episodes. It sure would mean a lot to us. Avatar Legends is a tabletop role-playing game created by Magpie Games. Nickelodeon, Avatar, and all related titles, logos, and characters are trademarks of Viacom International Inc., all rights reserved. I also want to thank the following artists who you can find on Fiverr for their amazing creative work on this podcast. Character art was done by alessiopapadraw. Background art by Kennicchi. Music by Joe Timms 215. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.